Alright, so they should... Awesome. They should be able to hear what we're saying right now, so just be careful. We'll be there in... Well, just want to make sure this thing... Okay, so it is streaming right now. Okay, let's flip this bad boy. Oh, wrong keyboard.
Oh, you have two.
Yes, I do. Hey, everyone. Robert Silver here. And as you may all know, is that I have with me this week MDT Agency, Kailyn Kaiser with me. And we're going to discuss the pros and cons, tips and advice of working with new models. But before we get started, let me turn off the audio right here. Let me know how the audio is going, if it's doubling, or how the stream is, how the live feed is, okay? Right now, it should be good to go. It sounds better now. I think I had my computer on. But anyway, now, before we get into it, I want you all to head on over to Instagram and make sure you follow Kailyn right here on Instagram. What is it? Kailyn.Kaiser.
Yes.
There she is in all her glory right there. And so first, before we get started, everybody say a big hi to Kailyn. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you coming because this is something I want to start doing more often. And we've been working together. And matter of fact, I believe we have a shoot or two together. And the thing is, I want to try to bring more of my experience as a photographer to all of you and to hopefully be able to answer any questions you may have and to bring the models I've been working with that I showcase on my Instagram at Robert Silver Photography and to see if you have any questions, you can ask them directly. And if you feel like you don't want to ask anything now and you do later, inbox her on Instagram. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Is that all right?
can,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, one thing I do want to say, a little plug, is go here and if you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at Robert Silver Photography. You can follow me, of course, there on Instagram at Robert Silver Photography, and I'm on Twitter there on Instagram at Robert Silver Photography, and I'm on Twitter, Robert Silver Photog. What a shock! So feel free to go ahead and follow me on any of those. I really, really appreciate the support. That is always appreciated. And, of course, here on Instagram, if you like anything that I've been doing and want to stay in tune, make sure you press that subscribe button and hit that that bell icon for notifications of future videos, right? All right, so now, Kailyn.
Yes.
How did you get signed with MDT? How did that happen?
Okay, so when I was younger, I used to be a fit model for MDT, and the way I did that was actually through my mom, but it didn't last very long because my mom couldn't always drive me to San Francisco for the different meetings. But then the way I did it myself is when COVID started, I realized I really wanted to get back into modeling, and I just went to the MDT website, and I filled out their application, and it said they'll get back to you in about 2 weeks, and I actually got a response back in about 3 days, and it's probably because of COVID, because
they have time.
Yeah. And they said they were interested, and they sent me other things to fill out to further my application. And then after that, they sent me another message saying that they were going to have a Zoom meeting or a Zoom interview.
Okay.
So I had to do the Zoom interview where I had to perform a monologue, which was terrifying because I've never done it.
Oh, so how long was the monologue for?
It was only about 30 to 45 seconds,
Oh.
but it was, I've never done any acting before, so I was...
And for those who don't know exactly when it comes to acting a monologue, what is that? Like how?
It's like, I don't know how to explain it, like...
Okay.
A character talking for an extended period of time.
Okay.
It could be to somebody, but I wasn't talking to anybody. I was kind of
Just
set
by
aside.
yourself.
Yeah. And then I got an email afterwards saying that they would like to represent me, and soon after that, I got my Skybolt and SF casting profile set up, and they started setting up test shoots and for me to get my portfolio set up.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what was your first assumption when it came to like MDT reaching out to you? Were you nervous? You know, what was
Yeah, I was really nervous.
How were you feeling?
Because I am sort of an introvert when it comes to things like that, but I just have a passion for modeling, and I love like helping photographers bring their image come to life pretty much.
Yeah.
And so when I got signed, I was kind of nervous because I'd never been in front of like a professional photographer before, but I was excited at the same time because I knew it was something that I had a passion for as well.
Beautiful. And did anybody previously to you engaging with MDT encourage you? Like, was there a source of inspiration? Was it something that you always kind of felt like you wanted to do, or?
I guess it sounds kind of cliche, but like when I was younger, I was always watching America's Next Top Model. Like there was that, so it was kind of that was always in the back of my mind. Like this is something you really want to do, and then just having like the people come up to me in the mall, or I used to work at the mall, and just random customers would come up and tell me like you should really get into modeling, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like that sounds like it would be fun, and then I was like, you know what, I'm actually gonna try it, and then
and then it happened.
Yeah.
Did you expect the process to be as smooth as it was with MDT and everything?
I didn't think I was gonna get as many shoots as I did starting off. They've been a lot of test shoots, but test shoots are something you should always take because it gets you exposure in front of the camera. But I actually expected it to be a little bit slower with COVID, but the amount of photographers that I had reach out to me was actually it was a lot. And
so it all of a sudden became a little overwhelming, or were you excited?
I was excited. It was only overwhelming a little bit because I do have another job, but
gotcha. Trying to balance
so
it
yeah,
too.
you have to figure out your schedule and be good with time management. But I was really excited, and it kind of like motivated me, and it also showed how much work that you're doing yourself when it comes to modeling. It's not just all the agency.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big misconception.
Yeah.
Especially for new models wanting to get with the agency, they only do so much. Basically, if you take a step or one or two toward them in their effort to help market and promote you, they'll do the same in return. You got to stay busy building your portfolio. I just took a couple of lenses, I think 2 or 3, and a camera, and we just met up and had fun pretty much. And sometimes you just have to let the chemistry between you and your model dictate where you are going, compositional, lighting, and locations, right? And I think we kicked it off immediately. So it became more of like 2 friends hanging out versus an assignment that the agency told me I should be going to do. Okay. Now I do want to let you know that I do have a relationship with MDT Agency. I've been shooting with them for quite some time, and I was looking for a unique face. If you head to my website at robertsilverphotography.com, you can see that I have a plethora of unique faces I like working with. I don't try to stick with a certain type of model.
Yeah.
And Kailyn fit that bill. I wanted redhead, okay, some freckles. And I was like, dude, that's going to set my portfolio on fire. And again, if you're going to work TFP as a photographer, I always say make sure that your shoot takes it to the next level. Does it, and that goes for models too. Does it add something to what you already do not have? Does that make sense? Otherwise, you're wasting both of your time. So now, what is something as working with a photographer, because you've worked with a couple besides me, what kind of advice would you give a photographer working with a new model?
I would say definitely what you did with my first shoot is he could tell that I was kind of stiff because I was nervous, and you could see that in the photos. Like I didn't look relaxed or like I was doing my thing. It was pretty much I just looked kind of awkward. And so him giving advice and like showing me how to relax in certain poses and how to just feel comfortable definitely helped a lot. And then feedback from the photographers also while I was trying different poses helped a lot as well, because I have had photographers who didn't say very much while I was shooting with them, and being a newer model, I didn't know if what I was doing looked good. I didn't know if it was what they wanted it, hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was like bringing their image to life pretty much because they weren't saying very much. So having a lot of feedback also helps new models a lot.
So communication, basically.
Yeah.
And at workshops I've taught in the past, previous COVID, that was one of the major things I've always tried to emphasize to photographers trying to get into or increase their proficiency in portrait photography is communication. That really will help you to not only get what you need out of your model, but also build a chemistry, and therefore she gets a little bit more relaxed. You do too, and you get the photos you want in a timely fashion. A good shoot isn't dictated by how many photos we took, because I think honestly we didn't take as many as I probably like I normally would, because we just nailed it. So it's like move on to the next thing. So communication is key. Now, let me look here in the comments. I'm noticing a few things. So I'm noticing some lag on some folks' end here. I do apologize. It says cuts in and out, but it's mostly fine for me. Okay. I will definitely research on that. I really appreciate everybody hanging in there with me. So far, it says on my end that the strength is good. So I'm not 100% sure why that is not. Oh,
there
Jesus. All right. Good Lord, I tell you. All right. Well, I apologize for those technical difficulties. It recommended that I increase the bandwidth. I did just that. Please comment and let me know if this is working good for you. Again, I appreciate all of your patience. So, with that said, can you, when it comes to models, can you give them any advice when it comes to approaching an agency? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say don't try and be like everything you see on Instagram when you go to your explore page.
Okay.
Because if you notice, a lot of the like Instagram models, they kind of all look the same. They have the same vibe, and like you were saying, a lot of photographers want something that's different.
Yeah.
And modeling agencies also want something that's different because they want a wide span of models. They don't want everybody that looks the same. So just be yourself, be your unique self, and they'll most likely love you. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here we go. Now, do you, as far as photographers are concerned, what is some advice when it comes to approaching a model? What are some good tips, perhaps, or like what are the way that they should properly approach a model?
Okay. Many different kinds of approaches. I like the ones the most that come to me. They'll either email me or they'll DM me on Instagram, and they'll introduce themselves. They'll say what kind of shoot they want to do, what kind of image they have in mind.
Hold on Okay, there we go. This internet, I tell you, I just want to take who owns it. I don't know who owns Google, but I just want to take them and smack them upside the head. But nonetheless, all right. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just continue where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. So they come to me with the kind of shoot they want to do, the image they have in mind. They ask for my availability. Just a very professional approach, rather than I've had people DM me that are just like, "Oh, let's shoot," and I'm like,
just random.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and that's
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah,
do you have a website? Like, always make sure they have some kind of website so that you can see they're putting effort into photography, which is what you told me actually.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I like a very professional approach, friendly, but not so much when someone's just like, hey, I want to do a shoot with you. Just add a little bit more, put a little more effort into it, and then that shows that you're really serious about it.
Now, just FYI, everyone, I do have a video on this I made a little while back. I think it was earlier this year, about how to find the right model you want to work with. And wait a minute, do I know? Okay, here we go. In and out. I'm not sure why it's kicking in and out, but it's very annoying. So as I was saying, I do have a video I made previously, earlier this year, about how to find the right model. So if you go to my page on YouTube, type in the search, what do you call it, search box, and you can just type in working with models or finding the right model, and you can watch that video. But one thing she hit on is one thing I always say, which is have your portfolio ready, is one thing. And I recommend an actual website, not just an Instagram, just to elevate your professionalism. And then secondly, is to have your shit together, which is, have a concept, have something, a direction you can explain to the model about where you want to go with the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that is key. Because guess what? A pretty woman, you're not the first one with a camera that wants to try to work with her. And she has to also be careful with her time, because her time is her commodity. There's a value to it. Otherwise, she could just say, go speak to my agent, and it can be a lot more than you want to work with her, right? Mm-hmm. Which technically you could.
Yeah, and then there's something else I wanted to add also with being a female model is when you do come with your portfolio and idea and everything, it just makes the model feel more secure, because anybody can have an Instagram and take pictures from anywhere and put them on there, and so to have everything ready and kind of show credibility makes the model feel better about it, and like, oh, like I can trust this person and go have a shoot with them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And again, that has to go to the professionalism. Like, even if it's a TFP, I make sure that I come as professional as possible. I don't deliver halfway decent photos just because she's not paying for them, but because she is. She's paying for them through her time. Okay. Again, if you actually found out rates that the agency would charge you to work with her, trust me, you'd be more than happy to just give her a well put together photo shoot versus having to pay for those particular hours. Now, this is not to be bougie or anything, but models need to work too. They need to update their portfolio. They would like to have content for their Instagram, but at the same time, you should respect them by at least having at least an idea of where you want to go with the photo shoot. Yeah. Okay. What have you been doing since you worked with me?
I've done mostly all test shoots, except for I did do a paid shoot. That was a wedding editorial, and it was actually really fun because my boyfriend got to do it with me because they wanted an actual couple because of COVID.
Oh, he got in the photos with you.
Yeah, he's never done modeling, but they wanted an actual couple, so I was like, I'll ask him, and he did it.
Nice.
That was my first paid shoot, and it was really fun. But other than that, it's all been test shoots. And I appreciate all the test shoots because, like I said, it's getting me exposure with different types of photography, and I'm meeting new photographers. And then I know that from those, like, those photographers talk to other photographers.
That's
like,
right.
It just gets you more exposure and gets you a lot of different types of pictures that you can put on your portfolio as well.
Okay.
And from the test shoots, I've gotten other paid shoots. So I have one just because of the relationship that I've made with the photographers. Because that's something else. You can just be a pretty face and have nice photos, but if you don't have a good personality, if you don't take good feedback, if you can't follow direction, they're not going to want to work with you again.
And be on time.
Yeah, and be on time.
Photographers and models, be on time.
Which means be early.
Yeah, basically. Exactly.
Yeah, and so from those test shoots, I've had them say, oh, well, I have this paid shoot coming up, and I'd love for you to be the model for it. And so that's why I also take as many test shoots as possible so that I can get paid jobs as well.
Gotcha. And that a lot of the advice she's sharing is advice as a photographer we should internalize ourselves. One thing is that people talk, right? Yeah, photographers, we all talk to each other about gear, models we work with, maybe location, stuff like that. But models do too. So even though we work together for a TFP shoot to build each other's portfolio, doesn't mean that, oh, you need an awesome photographer. Hey, go check out Robert and boom, bada bing. Because models for sure talk. Whether it be before the shoot when they're getting their makeup done or afterwards, after they got their fly pictures or crappy pictures, they're going to be talking. Yeah. So they can be your biggest asset, your ally when it comes to building your portfolio and most importantly, your business. So think about that when you're working with a model, as they're more like a business partner in a sense, if that makes any sense, right? Yeah, it really does. So where do you see this going for you in terms of modeling and everything? What do you hope?
What do I hope? Yeah. So I definitely would like to make it a career. Based off of the different photographers I've worked with, it's most likely going to be in commercial or in beauty because I'm not, 5'8" or above. I'm not tall and I'm not super skinny like a runway model, but I've just been told that I have the face and the personality to be able to make it a career and possibly in beauty modeling or commercial modeling. So I hope to make that.
So you want to make that more full-time, take a more of a career situation.
Yes.
So when you're not modeling, what is it you're doing?
I work at Costco as a tire installer.
Hey, Hey, it's the Bay Area. You gotta have like 3 gigs and a prayer. Yes. Okay, that's how exactly. Just to pay rent. Yes. Okay.
So that's the complete opposite of modeling. I'm not getting my makeup done and getting my picture taken. I'm doing tire installations and flat repairs all day.
Right on.
At Costco, and so that's my part-time job as well right now while I go to school.
Awesome.
I also am in school right now.
And what do you go to school for? What are you doing?
I'm studying criminal justice because my other interest was like forensic science or crime scene investigator.
Okay.
I definitely am picking modeling over that, but that's just my other interest as well.
Yeah.
Has to do with my dad being a police officer. I've always just been
law enforcement household kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't want to be a police officer, but I do like the investigative part of it.
The intrigue of the inspection. You want to be like a investigator, if you will. Awesome. So, therefore, if you're late to her shoot, she will find out why, arrest you, and get more photos than you thought you were going to get from her. There you go. So just a little FYI. Again, make sure that you go head on over to her Instagram right here and press that what do you do? Follow on Instagram. All right. Now, what was that? Okay. We have a question. Okay, how long do you spend preparing for shoots by getting ready or preparing outfits? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so for this one, it kind of varies by the shoot. So for my first shoot with Robert, I spent probably about a week and a half because I was sending him outfits and I was sending my print agent outfits. And so it was a lot of going back and forth and finding what fit perfectly for the shoot. And then as far as shoots, like where I'm getting my hair and makeup done, I just get dressed and go pretty much. They want you to come with your hair natural and no makeup on, so I don't really have to prepare that much for those ones. They're doing everything. Okay. But if it's just a simple one outfit look, that normally takes about like a day or two to get ready for. I pick out my outfit. My makeup is always, except for right now, my makeup is always very natural. Because
I think it looks good. I try to make sure the light looks all right.
This is definitely heavier makeup than I normally do for shoots because they always want natural. You can't really see my freckles, but I do have them. And so that's the uniqueness that they want to see is the freckles as well. Okay. So I do very light makeup, which only takes probably about 30 minutes to do. I wear my hair natural most of the times. I've only had one photographer.
Who doesn't love your natural hair? Are you kidding me? That's why I want to work with you.
For the wedding shoot, I had one person. They wanted to do like a looser wave, so I did have to straighten it, and I was like, oh no, because I never straightened my hair. But like I said, you're creating the photographer's image, so you do what they ask you to do.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, a little tidbit here. Whenever I work with models, I always ask of them to send me photos of their outfits prior to the shoot. I don't want to, even if it's my first time working with it, I'll text them to me, because that helps me to dictate time of day, location where I want to shoot, decide whether I like how the colors and patterns work with the skin complexion. Like, there's so many variables that help me dictate decisions I make for the photo shoot, regardless if it's paid or not. So that's why I ask for photos a lot. I can't speak on other photographers, but that's just me. But it's helped me save so much time because I'm like, all right, I already visioned the final result because I've seen the model on her Instagram. I have the pictures of the outfits. And then I already know the location because I'm hunting on Google Earth or Google Maps and whatnot. And so therefore I already have picture in my mind what the photos are going to look like. So that's something that I recommend you all doing too. Okay. So thank you. I'm probably going to mess up the name. Janae Smith for that awesome, amazing question. Feel free, anybody else, to post your questions down below. Now,
that could also go back to when you're asking about how a photographer should approach a model. If you do already have like a location in mind, definitely give it to the model because that can help with outfits as well because then they can look at it and pick something based off of what you had in mind already rather than you trying to find something
for the location.
Yeah. So like they can base their outfit off of what you already had picked out for the shoot.
That's really good, and that ironically, this is not scripted. Goes into something else I'm gonna say. No, she's right. That's an excellent tip. I use Google Maps, so I would share the direct link to the location if that helps them to figure out not only what the place looks like, but also logistics, like how to get there. But here's the other thing: I use Pinterest sometimes to and create a mood board or a board on Pinterest, and then put together a couple of looks, hair, makeup, outfits, perhaps. And it doesn't have to be spot on, but at least it gives you and your team a direction of where you're going. And oh yeah, I do have that in that video of how to find the right model. So go find that on my YouTube channel. I definitely talk about that too. So with that said, Pinterest is really good, or like Google Images or something
Pinterest,
like that.
Yeah, I use that for everything.
Yeah, for Google. Exactly. So, and also sometimes Pinterest helps you to think of something different about the location. So if you actually type up, let's say, Pier 39 or Golden Gate Bridge or something, sometimes somebody saw a view or a perspective that you may not have thought when you're about to go shoot there. So that's also helpful for that too, aside from communicating with the models.
And it also helps, Pinterest is a good thing for models as well, because I've had photographers send me their mood boards, and you can see other models in that kind of setup, in the kind of like, especially if you're a newer model and you don't know different poses or different looks to do, seeing other models and the kind of stuff they do, and at least prepare yourself with a few different things that you can do when you're there.
That's a good point. That could also allow you to see, like, oh, there's a pose I didn't think about doing at this particular location. There you go. Now, aside from modeling, I know MDT works with a lot of on-camera, off-camera talent. Do you think you want to get more into acting or no?
I do. I definitely need like some acting classes now. Because I've done like a few of the auditions, but I know that, well, obviously I didn't get picked for them because I didn't get picked for them, but I'm also very new at it. Like I said, I'm new to modeling and very new to acting.
I gotcha.
But it is something I would like to get into, just to have like another tool kind of in my belt.
Totally. And do you think that now when it comes to acting, is there like any actresses that you kind of look to, or that you think you kind of connect with, or is there any movie that says, God, I would have loved to have acted in that one? Is there?
I don't know, just the models the actors like
any show you're watching on Netflix right now that you're like, God, I would have been in?
Shows. I actually just finished the last season of Lucifer. But I wouldn't be in that that kind of movie. But
you'd be like Devil's Princess with the hair on fire or something. That'd be awesome.
The kind of actors that I'm attracted to though are like Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games. Just how
I could totally see woman princess warrior kind of something like that.
Yeah, but just like specifically in the second and third movie, like the scenes where she's just crying or like screaming and how real it looks. I'm just like, how does she do that?
Acting. I mean, let's be honest. I certainly I took an acting class once because I was going to Academy of Art to be a film director, so I had to take an acting class. Hated it. But I respected the hell out of after that moment. I really respect good acting. I'm like, that fool's acting, or female fool, whatever. But that person's acting their ass off, and that's when you could really, when you're trying, then you notice how much effort it really takes to make it look so easy, right?
Yeah.
So kudos
I don't
to
understand I can memorize things like in high school. I had to memorize the Gettysburg Address, and I was able to do that. But then putting the emotion into it and portraying the character, I'm just like, how do you guys do it?
Yeah. You're not gonna see me be Abraham Lincoln anytime soon, giving any address. So now, what style of modeling have you been asked to do? Like what genres? Like what style of photography?
I've done commercial and lifestyle mostly. Those are pretty much the two that and MDT is very commercial, so that's mostly what I try to find, but I do like trying other things. Like I'm really interested in editorial photography. If that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you say it?
Like fashion editorial work and everything?
Yeah. I just love like the shoot that we had when you had me leaning up against that big structure.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I like those kind of
Yeah, this
pictures.
one right here.
Yeah. So things like that I really like.
Okay.
That's kind of different from commercial.
Yeah. And was MDT the first agency you tried to reach out to or connect with, or?
Yeah. So I had other people, like when you're at the fair, you're at the mall, and they have their flyers and stuff like that they pass out, and they say you should work with this agency.
No one's ever passed me out a flyer.
Oh wow!
I am just.
They're too.
You know what? It's shy. That mail because it's delayed right now. I never got mine. That's probably what it is. So you know they found you real quick, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So tell me, so they found you at like at festivals and stuff like that? Or?
MDT did not, but other agencies did, and those were ones where you actually have to like, you were paying for a lot of the stuff, and so my mom was like, that's not what a real agency does.
Like Barbizon, where you pay up front.
And my mom's like, an agency is not gonna. Like a credible agency is not going to do that. And so having worked with Marla Dell when I was younger, and then I also have a family friend who has both of her kids in it, I was like, this agency is very credible. They're like serious about their models. Mm-hmm. And so I went and applied because I already knew about them.
Beautiful.
So you don't have to you don't have to wait for an agency to reach out to you. You can definitely reach out to them. And
it's an email. Costs you nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
You just put in your sizes and
then go for it, and then a little of this, a little of this, and and that. But for you, it obviously worked out, and that's really great. I mean, I've heard about those kind of agencies where you pay all up front, and then you pray that you see any dollar from that ever again.
Yeah, and it's like, it's exciting having those people come up to you and kind of notice you out in the crowd.
Yeah.
But it's not really worth it. You should work for a credible agency.
Totally.
Someone that's not going to ask for money up front.
So having that, they not only have the credibility but also the experience, and then your family, friends, and so forth are involved. That really helps you to pretty much seal the deal right then and there. Awesome. Are you going to be doing any traveling? Tripping. Super hard seat. Reconnection. Okay, here we go. Wee! I tell you, I get nervous now, folks, so I really apologize, and I appreciate all of your patience. But streaming live means we're live. So, with that said, you're gonna see everything around here, okay? Maybe I should have like a little clown running behind us every once in a while or something, just random stuff happening. As you can see, just to, not to toot my horn, but you can see some of the photos here. I always recommend you being the biggest fan of your own work. No one's going to be a bigger fan of my work than me. And there are certain projects that I've worked with people where I'm just so proud of the process and what went into that photo, because the photo tells a story. In this particular aspect with portraits, it tells a story about a person or... There we go. Hey, when that thing's green, we are good. Whew. Lord of mercy. There we go. Ha! I wonder what it was doing that whole time, but okay, it's doing
catching back up.
I guess it's catching back up, I guess. All right. Well, nonetheless, we are still here. We are here, and we're still here and panicking every moment. Trust and believe it. By the way, to who was it had that question? Anthony Good. I do offer private portrait sessions. I do, and I'm sure Kailyn does as well. Again, if you do want a private session with Kailyn, go to her Instagram, right, at Kailyn.Kaiser, and send her an inbox. But as for me, you can reach out to me at info@robertsilverphotography.com if you want private lessons to enhance your portrait photography. So, with that said, I want to know how many of you out there have a website, because I want to just show you really, let me see if I can get this thing to work the way I want it to around here. I'm not sure. Boom. There we go. And we're going to head on over to, there we go. I just want to show everybody the benefits of a website and what kind of impression does it give potential clients and models that you want to work with. Okay. obviously, as you can see, I use Smug Mug. This is definitely not a name drop. They do not sponsor me. If they do want to, feel free and back up that money truck like a big butt. Okay? Back it up. So, but unfortunately, they do not. So we're going to move right along. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, that was super fun. That was in LA. But, so I have a section here for portraits. And then I also have everything here. And then I also split it up to my fashion and more commercial stuff right here as well. You see, I have minimum amount of text on my website. I want it to be all about the photos because that's what they're hiring me for. Photos. That's it. Okay? Do I even have a little something about... Oh, here's a little something about me. It's two small little dinky paragraphs, and that's about it. That's all I have. I do also film work too, so I make sure I have a couple examples here. Of course, you can see, you can go to check out my latest review of that lens right there. So, I just want to let you know that I've had numerous clients that see my website, and at the end of the day, the first thing they're going to say is, how much do you cost? Not whether you are proficient in them or not. That really helps with models too. Models I don't know me at all, and they just want to see what kind of work I'm into or what kind of work I've done. That's what the website is. There's a difference between, and that works for actors and models too. There's a difference between a website and social media. Social media is your latest work. That's what you're putting out there. Your website is your best work. Mm-hmm. That's why, even as a model, I recommend, or actress, to have both. Okay? Get your own .com. Costs you $12 from GoDaddy or whoever's daddy you want to get it from. and then your Instagram obviously is free. Okay? Very small investment. You have 2 ways to promote your work. And that goes for models for sure.
Yep.
Now, when you did?
Yeah, because I have my 2 profiles that the agency told me to get.
Okay.
But then my mom had bought a website for me so that I can put all of my photos on there. So it's easier to send out to photographers and just send them a link so that they can look at all your pictures.
Now, that ironically rolls right into this. Now, here's the thing. Today, I was updating my website with a few recent shoots. And I might take 6 to 10 photos that I've edited, and like those are the best from the photo shoot. But I only upload the very best 1, maybe 2 from that shoot. Mm-hmm. And it's because before you know it, you'll have 1,000 photos, and no one's gonna scroll through them all. So with that said, you should really just choose from each shoot that you're doing. And if you're doing 2 to 3 shoots a month, that is strictly for your portfolio. Mm-hmm. Then you're really updating. If you do 2 photos from each shoot, that's 6 photos. That's you update your portfolio very quickly, mm-hmm. and therefore you don't want to have to clutter the other the viewer or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But definitely that's another reason why that your website is to display your very best of the best. Now with the 6 to 10 photos that you got from a photographer, that's what Instagram's all about. You put that shit up there all day. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, there's something I also wanted to say for models is when you get your photos back from the photographer. For me, I have to send them to my print agent, and she picks the ones that she thinks is going to get me jobs, like paid jobs, and those are what go on my portfolio. And then when it comes to posting on Instagram, I post 1 or 2 from the shoot, but I don't post everything that's on my portfolio on my Instagram. Because I kind of like to save it and have, like you said, my best work on my portfolio and not necessarily just on my Instagram.
So you actually split it up a little bit.
Yeah, so I kind of take like the more fun pictures, like stuff that I was trying out, and put it on my Instagram.
Gotcha.
And then I take like my serious photos and put them on my portfolio.
Gotcha.
But I just don't like to have everything on there because I like my portfolio kind of shows that like I'm serious about it as well.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like you don't want to just clutter it with everything that oh, look at my latest photo, boom, and just smash it on there, and it kind of hide. What it does is it hides the best work that you really want them to see.
Yeah, and then when you send like a photographer your portfolio, they look at it and they see new pictures and they're like, oh, like this isn't everything that I saw on Instagram. There's more.
Totally.
Yeah.
And by the way, photographers and models, when I do bump into a model, which is not as often as I'd like to, that has a website, it really it sends a signal to me that this person is professional. They invest in their career. It's not just a thing that they do because they get a few likes on Instagram. And it's another level of expectation and comfort that I am about to receive with this model. I'm like, okay, she already knows what time it is. She knows about being professional, being on time, about being asking plenty of questions. Just everything that involves a smooth production and a photo shoot. I'm already expecting this person is good to go, and that is kudos to you. And I'm glad you took that step. Mm-hmm. Ironically, it's a very affordable step that many people don't even do.
Yeah,
right?
It just takes a little bit of time.
Just takes a little bit of time. Exactly. Now, with that said, have you worked with anybody doing video or film yet, or no?
I have not.
Oh.
But I want to try.
Ideas.
Because I feel like that. Yeah, because like I said before, I'm kind of an introvert, so I do want to step out of my comfort zone and try new things.
And get out of.
Yeah.
Just being comfortable and everything.
Yeah.
What are some? Is there any advice you can give photographers or models out there to stepping out of your comfort zone? Like, what are you doing to get yourself out of that?
I would say, like, for example, I had a test shoot, and he wanted to capture, like, my real smile. And something this simple I was nervous to do. He wanted to have a laughing competition where we just did our most obnoxious laughs back and forth to each other. But, like, that, I was like, what the heck? Like, that's so weird. But, like, just being like, whatever, I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then doing it, you're like, oh, like, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. And so just little steps like that help you get out of your comfort zone. And then just talking to your photographer as well, getting a good...
the communication again, the communication, that's right.
That just makes the model feel very comfortable, makes the photographer feel very comfortable.
Okay. Now, have there been any shoots that you felt uncomfortable in? Like, situations or shoots? I mean, I want photographers out there to know, like, not only all the pleasantries and the accolades of working with a professional model, is there any situation that you felt like, that wasn't cool?
Not yet, except for a photographer that I had that, like I said, did not talk to me very much.
During the whole shoot?
Yeah, photographers all have their different kind of styles, but I'm somebody who loves feedback and communication while I'm shooting. So not having that, I just felt kind of awkward, which you can see in the pictures because I'm not as relaxed. And you can definitely see in pictures if you're not comfortable. You just kind of stiffen.
Did it feel like the shoot took longer than it should have?
Because it took a little longer for me to get comfortable and actually take better photos, because I was also trying to figure everything out myself in my head, like, what kind of poses should I do? Does my face look right? Because I wasn't getting that feedback back. Like, if simple, like, oh, that face is nice, like, that helps, and it makes you feel more confident in front of the camera.
And that goes into one thing I've always taught at my workshops is stop thinking of yourself as another photographer. I'm sorry to break this news to you, but there's anybody with a credit card and an Amazon account can go be a photographer. It is not that difficult. The entry level to photography is about as low as a pregnant ant. Okay, so you could be a photographer anytime you feel like doing it. So, but what I noticed is the photographers that are really getting it, that are really pushing it and pushing themselves creatively and also in their career, view themselves as a director.
Yeah.
A director looks at the project as a whole. Mm-hmm. Okay? They don't just say, I'm here to just take photos. No, I'm here to inspire you, motivate you, connect with you, and also guide, right? And you have to get what you want out of a person you may not even know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's something. Don't be afraid to tell your model, like, do this, do that.
Totally.
Like, I love that because I'm like, sure,
yeah.
The pictures need to
just
come out how you want them.
Do this, bit.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. But no.
Yeah, I love when photographers are like, okay, now do this, because, like I said, as a model, you're creating their image.
Totally.
You're not doing your own thing. You want the pictures to come out nicely. So photographers definitely give direction.
It's teamwork, and that's what directors I've noticed. Like when I watch movies, the lead director is called director of photography, right? He's a DP or DOP, and they're the ones in charge of all the directors. So I said, oh, that's the role I want to be in. I want to be in charge. But then I started working backwards. I said, what about a director of photography do they have to take care of? Like, what is all their responsibilities? Oh, they have to communicate. They have to plan out these shoots. They have to envision the final shot. They have to see what kind of tools they need. What can they get out of this model? Finding the right model. So it's like a lot more that went into just being into a production of an image than just snap and shoot. So if you're looking to be a lot more ordinary and rather you want to be extraordinary, you better start doing more extraordinary work or effort into producing the images that you can be proud of and people will pay you for. Yeah. Right? That was a long-winded little...
It makes sense, though. Yeah.
I know. And this is just what I go through. Again, so it's like anything I'm sharing with you, it's what I tell myself and what I do for myself and what I did with, together. Mm-hmm. And our shoot was just us two. We just met up and we shot for a few hours and that was that. But I knew because of the lighting was really whack pretty much. And it was actually a little dreary. Like it was... You swear it was like rain. It could have rained. It could have rained.
Everything was shut down.
Yeah, and she had her jacket on. Like it just didn't feel like summer. And I think it was July, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was July.
A lot of things were shut down, so we couldn't go everywhere.
Yeah, that too, because of COVID. So it's like, you have to think quickly on your feet, Also, real quick, I do want to put out there, if you got any questions, this is about the... Oh, whoops. I think I'm typing in the wrong space here. Here we go. Oh. If you got any questions, feel free to ask us in the last few minutes here. Okay? Boom. There we go. Hopefully that goes through with all this stupid internet stuff here. There we go. Now, I do want to let you know that I'm working on a couple of videos that I'll be posting very soon. Some basic photography videos. I also would like to know what kind of videos you think I should be posting. Would you like to see behind the scenes of my photo shoots? That can be something I can put together as well. Do you like to see more tutorials? Would you like to see tutorials from models? Like, would you like to see a model explain their experience or answer questions that you may have? That I can put together. I mean, that would be fun. And I could do behind the scenes. I've done a few, and they were very, very popular, and I was thinking about doing them again. I mean...
That sounds fun.
It'd be pretty cool. Are there any experimental questions you want me to go through and answer for you in a future video? I think that could be super fun too. Like, hey, try this random thing that's really crazy. Take a picture with one eye open. I don't know. Actually, you do take pictures with one eye open. Yeah, you do. Yeah. But either way, I do want to let you know that, of course, I'll be reviewing a few Lumix cameras that are coming out. No, right now it's the G100 that I'm reviewing, which is a nice pocket size. Matter of fact, it's this one right here. Ho, ho, ho. And what's really cool about this is a G100. You've probably already seen about this. But what I like about it a lot is that it has an awesome selfie mode that I really had a lot of fun using this thing. So when you use it, you can go to selfie mode. And then it's a dope countdown, and it's like, hey yo. Anyway, I really dig it. It was tons of fun, and you probably look better. Oh yeah, damn, you do look good on that. No. But anyway, do want to let you know I am a Panasonic Lumix advocate. I've shared that. I have a video about it. So if you feel like, why am I pulling out that camera? That's because. Why? But if you have any questions about Lumix or any of their cameras, feel free to inbox me. Hit me up down below. I'm currently recording on the Lumix G9, but which is doing a great job. This is looking pretty awesome. So, now, is there any advice before we head out of here that you can give, or is there anything you would like to share? Or do you just want them to follow you?
No.
It's all up to you. I have nothing to share. Just follow me, please. No.
Just pretty much what I said before, just for photographers, to have really good communication, and for models to not act like a know-it-all at
Gotcha.
the shoots, and that the relationship you make with you and the photographer is the most important, because they're going to remember a person's personality rather than just the pictures that they've taken. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail with that one for sure. And just remember, all the things that we said earlier is really true. It is so true. They do talk. Models do talk. And photographers talk as well. It's a team effort, and respect their time. Just because they're not paying you doesn't mean that they have to shoot with you, if that makes any sense.
That doesn't. That's what I was going to say. I forgot.
Right.
For photographers, after the shoot, and for models, just make sure you always, follow up afterwards, send them a message. Hey, thank you for doing the shoot with me. And then for photographers, just always check in when you're editing photos, I guess. It kind of
keep you updated.
If it takes you a long time to edit photos, then just give updates, because I've had photographers where I'm kind of like, when am I going to get my photos? I don't know.
Still alive? No.
Yeah, so just updates help a lot too.
Okay, there you go. And as I said early in the episode, make sure you head on over to Instagram and follow Kailyn there at Kailyn.Kaiser. Give her a little shout out. Inbox her if you have any questions. And as well as go ahead and like some of her photos, okay? Help her out. We need that. And of course with me, my shameless self-promotion is right there. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I got a Patreon, but I got to figure out what I want to do with that. And of course, I'm on Twitter, yada, yada, yada. Okay? So, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. This has been another episode of Let's Talk Photography. My next episode, I will be having one of my other models named Nia Asada from MDT Agency as well. If you head on over to my Instagram, Robert Silver Photography, you can see plenty of her photos. You can find her at Lake Merritt Goddess, and you can check her out. But she'll be, you know her, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. She'll be on in 2 weeks. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get you the specific date, so I'm not sitting here blowing smoke up your hoo-hoo. On the 8th, September 8th, 2 weeks from now, 4 o'clock, tune in. She'll be here with me, and we're going to talk about working with African-American models, and the pros and cons and stuff like that, okay? Like the do's and don'ts, rather. Not the pros and cons, but the do's and don'ts of working with African-American models. She's gorgeous. She's awesome. She has tons of energy. Honestly, I'm going to have to take, at least a caffeine hit right to the veins to handle her, okay? She's super. You have you met her before?
I haven't met her, but I've seen her pictures and they're gorgeous.
Oh, she's awesome. Matter of fact, she's in this photo right here, folks, real quick. That's her right there. Okay? So, if you want to get your questions, if you want to talk to her, you will be able to live here in 2 weeks. So, let's go back. All right, everybody. With all that said, and wow, I can't believe I said so much. I just get to talking, don't I? I want to say thank you for coming on by.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Again, she didn't have to, but I appreciate she did, so that she can answer any questions you all may have. Go ahead and follow her. Thank you very much. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting, stay creative. See you later. That was fucking